talk about the exercise component. Get your phone up here. There you go. See?
I have a question.
Yeah?
What happens like when during the day I start to kind of get tight and then I crack and I go, oh,
Okay.
it feels so good.
That's awesome. Awesome question.
And not my name.
Every time bones are moved, endorphins are released from your brain. Okay? So it's like getting high, kind of. A little bit.
Yeah.
Right? So you release endorphins. But what happens is this. When you're doing this to yourself, you're moving whatever's the easiest to move in your spine, not necessarily what needs to be moved. Because don't you soon feel like you need to do it again?
Okay.
Right. Because you didn't move the primary cause of the problem. You moved a compensatory segment that released an endorphin to make you feel high, but it didn't fix the problem. So that's one of the differences between different kinds of chiropractors. So you can walk into an office where somebody will do, we call it a flying seven. They do your hips 2 ways, 3 up your back, and crank your head in 2 directions, and you make all kinds of noise. The last time someone did that to me, I pushed him against the wall by his throat and told him if he ever touched me again, I'd break his arms. Because it's assault. It is not what you should have done to your body. Okay? If I come over to you and I hold your head and I just crank you in 2 directions, it could kill you, right? I mean, I've seen it in movies. But I'm not serving you. I'm not doing what you need to make your brain and body function better. So I don't like the flying seven. Now, sometimes people do get good results from those doctors because your body is so resilient and amazing that it uses every force that comes in to its greatest benefit. Okay? Your body's always trying to do what it can to help you be more awesome. But it gets overwhelmed because remember we talked about emotional, chemical, physical. Okay? So it's possible that I could push you down a flight of stairs, and every time you fall on those stairs and hit something, that force could be integrated into your system to correct misalignments in your structure and make you healthier. It's possible. It's highly unlikely. The reason that it's highly unlikely is because you already have a messed up structure that's now bouncing down the stairs, and you have emotions that set in like fear when you're going down the stairs. And so probably you're going to get hurt if I push you down the stairs. But it's possible that your body can use that force. And a good way to exemplify that is how many people have ever twisted their ankle like stepping off a curb or something? Okay. Now how many of you have done that and it was probably the best thing that ever happened to your ankle? Anybody? Oh, I've done it before. I can't believe nobody in this room has done it. That's happened to me a couple times, and I was like, whoa, that actually fixed it. And then it's fine. So that happens sometimes too. So sometimes you're stretching, right? Maybe you're on your back, you're doing the legs to one side thing, and one of your lumbars just goes, boom. Might be that your body took that force to do something beneficial in your system. Okay? Also happens all the time that people come to see me and say, oh, I hurt myself at yoga. So it can kind of go either way, right? That's why specificity is important in deciding who you want to see for a chiropractor. So the chiropractor I see is an activator doctor. He uses only an instrument to adjust me, and he's way up at Lake Mead in Tenaya. That's where I go because he's who I'm happiest with. I think he's great. I really respect him and very grateful to have him. So that's who I go see. And he's very specific because that's what I want. I want someone to be specific. I want you to fix what I need, not just 3 moves you were good at, because that doesn't serve anyone. So if you're going to somebody and you're getting the same thing every time, I would question that. Also, you don't want anyone like, anyone, let's just say anyone, to pick you up and go like this and jerk your spine and make popping sounds. You don't want anyone walking on your back. Because remember, when Christopher Reeve fell off the horse, he broke one bone in his neck. And it ruined his life, right? So it's very dangerous to just randomly move stuff around. That's your spinal cord in there, that's your lifeline, okay? So you really want to be specific. Now, what kinds of amazing things happen when people get adjusted? Everything. Think of some miracle story and it's happened in a chiropractor's office. But it's not because we treat these problems, it's because we turn on the power of your body to heal itself, and then awesome stuff happens. So do we see kids with chronic ear infections adjust them once, and then they don't have ear infections anymore? Yep. Babies who can't poop and have been constipated for weeks, and they suddenly are pooping and are fine after they get adjusted. Yeah.
People and allergies. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there's research on a lot of that. Some stuff there isn't any research on because research is expensive and you have to find someone to pay for it. But yes, because you want your lungs to work, you want your lungs to have good nerve supply. So yes, allergies and asthma respond very well. Allergies and asthma generally are caused by chemical interference to the nervous system. We correct it physically, but it's usually that tension is caused chemically, usually by vaccines, antibiotics, and pollution. So, but it could be caused by physical trauma too, but not usually. Also, anxiety is kind of linked to that. So pretty much any miracle thing you can think of has happened. I like the story of Winifred Gardella. She was the March of Dimes poster child. And the March of Dimes historically was about kids who were crippled kids that they needed to raise money for these kids and get them these crutches and stuff. So her parents were kind of cool with her being at the level she was and being the poster child for the March of Dimes. Her grandparents said, no, we're not settling for this. We think she can get better. They took her to a chiropractor. And a few months later, she was able to walk without her crutches and without any braces on her legs. And the March of Dimes fired her and found a different crippled kid because they didn't want to send people to the chiropractor to get better. They wanted to keep raising money. So, yes, we've heard every miracle story. We don't treat diseases. We don't treat your symptoms. We just turn on the power of your body so you can be your best you. Which leads me to the topic that I wanted to talk about tonight. Before I go there, is there anything that I missed?
Just a question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what they call it in the medical field, but like the electric pulses and the heat therapy. Do you have any opinion on that?
Well, so as a chiropractor, we have to take physical therapy as one of our courses of study. And school that I went to didn't teach physical therapy on campus because it's not chiropractic and it's a straight school that doesn't want to do mixed or stuff, so blah, blah, blah. So we had to take it off campus. So I became really good friends with the guy who taught off campus and I used to teach with him. So every 6 months or so, Guy and I would be teaching PT. So I spent quite a bit of time working with the PT stuff, and my job was to teach them how to use all that equipment. And then I would teach them all why they should never do it. Because as a chiropractor, our job is not to treat your symptom. Our job is to turn on the power of your body to help you heal and make yourself healthier and a better expression of your human potential. And those are all things that treat your symptoms. So they change the way your body's responding because they change your response mechanisms, but they don't make you a healthier human being. They just dampen your ability to feel the pain or express a particular symptom. Which is a perfect segue into my topic of inducing homeostasis. Okay, so homeostasis is that state of being in balance, being healthy. There's kind of that flow to life, right, where your body is just doing everything it needs to do to be optimal and functional. Now, when you talk to somebody who says, well, I have high blood pressure, but I'm on medication, and so now it's only 120/80. Well, that's called drug-induced homeostasis, because the person is not healthier. That person just has a drug making them appear healthier on a chart, okay? Now you can create induced homeostasis with drugs. You can do it with machines. You can do it with essential oils. You can do it with supplements, okay? Because you're treating a symptom. You're not looking at the overall person and having them be a greater expression of their human potential and functioning better. Do you see the difference? Mm-hmm. So people get really confused, and go ahead.
Well, I just am thinking, so when you say supplements, you mean also like vitamins and
Could be.
essential oils.
Yes. So here's what happens. You can use certain essential oils to change your symptoms, okay? Maybe you have asthma, right? And then you use an essential oil to breathe better. Did you fix the cause of your asthma? No. So it's really nice that you can breathe better, but you haven't fixed the problem yet.
So you don't believe in any vitamins?
I didn't say I didn't believe in it. I'm just saying that you can use it to manipulate the symptom to induce homeostasis, or you can do things to support the system to become more healthy so that you don't have the symptom anymore because you're a healthier person.
Yeah, I guess my question is it better, so it is better to invest in something like going to a chiropractor rather than being someone who doesn't see a chiropractor? Well, obviously you're going to say yeah. But
Yeah, obviously.
But what I'm saying is, if I say I start to see you, just don't, do I do both? Like, do I do supplements and vitamins and
Well, you get to
essential
choose that.
oils also?
And vitamins are important. You need vitamins to
Okay.
live, but you should be getting them from your food primarily. Our food supply isn't what it used to be, right? So food isn't as nutritious as it once was. Our soil's depleted, our water's dirty, our air's dirty. Doom and gloom, yada yada. So you have to eat an awful lot of vegetables now. A couple hundred years ago, they didn't need to eat nearly as many vegetables as we do because they had better quality vegetables, because the soil was rich, okay? And they didn't wash everything so much. So they got the probiotics, they got the enzymes, they got the full spectrum of nutrients. We don't get that anymore, okay? We don't get enough omegas and part of the reason that we don't get enough omegas is because the cattle industry and the meat industry has been feeding America sick, depleted, nutrient deficient, drugged cows for years and years and years. And you're not getting any nutrition out of that, but you're getting lots of cancer and other stuff. Now people are starting to get a little bit more savvy to that, and they're switching over to eating grass-fed beef, which is what the beef should have been eating all along, right? So if you think about your food should be stuff that people 200 years ago would recognize as food, okay? They would probably recognize those dried cranberries. Maybe not dried in that form, right, because those were freeze-dried, but they would recognize a dried cranberry. They're not going to recognize Cheetos, okay? So you don't want to eat that. You want to eat real food that nourishes your system. Now, if you're in a crisis, a health crisis, and you need to do something because you have to breathe, then yeah, an essential oil is better than taking drugs. But remember that it doesn't fix the problem. It just helps you get through the situation. Okay? So, whenever you're doing something like that for your symptoms, ask yourself, am I creating an induced homeostasis, or am I making my body healthier? And it's okay to do either. It's up to you. Just be aware of what you're doing. Which brings me to one of my favorite sports-related topics, and that is ice. How do I feel about ice?
I
don't like it.
I don't like ice. Do I like ice, Darren?
No.
Do I like ice, Tony?
Nope.
No, I don't like ice. So, what happens when you sprain your ankle? It swells, and then what do most people do? They put ice on it. Why? Why do you put ice on it?
Reduce swelling.
Why do you want to reduce the swelling?
Your body's telling you it needs it.
Right, okay, you don't answer because you know. But why do people want to reduce the swelling?
To feel better.
To feel better, but why?
It hurts.
Because it hurts. Okay, so if you sprain your ankle, you've injured yourself, right? The body immediately swells the joint. Why does the body swell the joint? Because that swelling has all the nutrition that you need to heal that joint. It also stabilizes it, and it makes it hurt so you stay off it. But most Americans are knuckleheads. They put ice on it, make the swelling go away, take away the healing fluid, extend the amount of time it's going to take you to actually heal, and then, because it doesn't hurt anymore, they go do stuff on it again. And now they're out running around on a beat-up ankle that you didn't allow to heal. So I know I'm always against the tide, but I'm always telling people, no ice, leave it alone. Let me adjust it if you want, put it back in alignment, and then leave it alone. And in 2 days, you should be perfect. You ice it. 3 weeks from now, you're still icing it and dealing with this ankle, right? So, big sports injury issue, leave the ice alone.
What about pressure? Because I know people like will rack them.
Leave it alone, let the body do its job. Now there are things that you can do to help your body heal. You can use your foam roller to help your body heal. You can get adjusted to help your body heal. You can rest to help your body heal, right? Rest is pretty important. You can put good nutrition in your body to help your body heal. Make sure you're getting all of your minerals to help your body heal.
How about elevation of the,
If you want, but the reason you're elevating it is because you want to drain it, because you want the swelling to go away. So if you're miserable, yeah, you can lift it up. Because I don't want it to swell too much. Now, for a person who's acidic, for a person who doesn't have a good diet, it's possible that they could overinflame because they already have an inflamed body. And for them, for people who have inflammation issues that are from their diet, remember, yeah, they could take something like New Chapter Zyflamed or take turmeric or something to deal with or to counteract that possibility of overswelling, because that can happen. In an unhealthy person, you can swell too much. A healthy person, body's not going to overswell. Okay? But yeah, if you're miserable, you can put your foot up. Yeah. Rock tape is something that you can use to help aid in the healing process. I never recommend that you use tape to make an injured part of your body perform. You can use the tape to help the injured part heal. Does that make sense? And the way that stuff works is it lifts the skin a little bit away from the muscle, increases the circulation, so you just heal faster. If you're not injured and you want to use rock tape, you use it to increase your endurance. So that's why you see so many athletes all taped up. And then sometimes you see athletes that are all taped up that are injured and they're using it to try to overcome their injury and perform anyway, and they really shouldn't. You should let your body rest.
For example, did anyone see anything on Facebook today?
yeah.
Yep.
What did I miss?
Oh, yeah,
Angel on the
yeah,
shoulder?
yeah.
Yeah.
Is she injured or is it,
Yeah, she's.
Well, she specifically asked for it on her shoulder. Why?
I'm saying so she
Because
could work out,
Because it was sore.
and so she could work out
Yeah.
Yep.
with it.
So are we saying that this person had an injured shoulder and they wanted tape on the shoulder and then they worked out anyway?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
That's common, but
I
yeah.
don't,
You
I don't-
can.
I'm not saying that.
once again, you can
I've
do
never
whatever
done that.
you want. Is it what's best? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, hey, I'll admit it, I've done it. Right? We all get to choose what we do. It's just making informed choices, right? About what we're doing. What goal is more important to you? Okay? So if there's some big football game coming up and it's apparently a big deal. And so if you're in that game,
Wow.
okay, so if you're Peyton Manning and you get hurt and it's in the middle of the stupid bowl, then sorry, I'm sorry, just kidding. It's the middle of the at least I knew who he was. So if you're Peyton and you're in the middle of the Super Bowl and you hurt yourself, you're probably gonna ice and tape and do anything you can to stay in the game. Because that goal is more important to him than the healing of his injury. Okay? So you get to choose, just make an informed choice. A lot of people say, oh, well, I did it because I didn't know any better. Well, now you know better.
He obviously does not talk to the old football players that can barely move.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know why? They were getting all those cortisone shots. They were doing lots of ice. They were probably taking lots of other kinds of shots. So, yeah. Okay, so what did I not?
From that, back in the athlete days, I did all the things we were supposed to do.
Yeah, everyone did because they didn't know any better. And almost everyone you ask will tell you to ice, even chiropractors, because nobody thinks about it. And a really good analogy for this is the story of this of a woman who asked her mom, why do you cut the ends of your roast off before you put it in the pan and roast it? And she's like, I don't know, that's what Grandma did. So then she asks Grandma, why do you cut the ends off your roast before you roast it? She's like, I don't know, that's what my mom did. So then great grandma why do you cut the ends off your roast? She goes, well, I don't anymore, but I used to because I had a small pan. So people do stuff and they don't even know why they do it. So ask why. Why am I doing this?
So speaking of why, what's good to ask? Like, for example, the other day when my friend went to chiropractor because he was hurting, and so I was curious because, you know, I go to you, so I asked him, so what did he do? And first of all, he showed up, he's waiting in his waiting room, you know, with everybody there who has insurance, and then he said he got him down, and I asked, did he, you know, do your feet? Did he, like, look at your feet or anything like that? Because it was a leg issue, too. He said, no, he just immediately put electric stim on me, and then he cracked me, had me stand up, did a couple of pop things, and so right then I just wanted to say something, but, you know.
When he's in Vegas, have him come see me. And when I come visit you in Arizona, I will take care of him. But, I mean,
So
that's...
what do you know, tell somebody to look?
Okay,
Because
so-
I don't know, does everybody know, like, how you adjust, like, by looking at your feet instead of, like, that completely caught me off guard the first time I'm hearing, like, looking at my feet,
Yeah,
why?
well, and that's because that's the technique that I do. So the analysis that I do involves me looking at your feet. I have to touch a lot of feet. So wear your shoes. And not big heavy nuts, like those big work boots. Oh. But we have different techniques, and so there are other chiropractic techniques that don't do that, and they're still great techniques. All those little things that I was talking about that happen in your spine, where you have pressure interfering with the messages from your brain to your body, those are called subluxations. Literally that word means a state of reduced light. Sub, reduced, less than, lux, light, ation, state up. So the subluxation. So chiropractors correct subluxations. So another thing to do when you're looking for your chiropractor, if you call them, which I don't let anybody call me because I want you to just look at my website and see when I'm open and show up. Because otherwise I would have to hire a secretary and then my rates would double and then I wouldn't be affordable. So, but when you call, everybody else has a secretary. So when you call them, or when you walk into their office, say, I would like my subluxations corrected. And if there's any hesitation, if they don't know what you're talking about, turn and go somewhere else. I doubt if he had used that word in that office, it would have been well received. I'm sure no one at the front desk would have had any idea what he was talking about. And I've done that in finding care for myself. I walked out of an office a few weeks ago. I was really excited to go to. I thought, okay, I'm finally going to get what I wanted. And I walked in and they wanted me to fill out all these medical forms and answer all these weird questions. And I was like, I'm just here to get my subluxations adjusted. What's going on? And the girl at the front desk said, well, I don't know what that is. What does that mean? And I said, I'm in the wrong place. You know? So that's a good way to ask. You know, do you see kids? Do you correct subluxations? And then, if they do the same thing every time, you know that you're kind of just in a flying 7 or a flying 5 or a flying 3 or whatever kind of place. Really stinks because I wish that you could just go anywhere and get the same thing. But it's kind of like working out. You can come here, right, and you get an awesome workout with great instruction. You could go to other places and not get good instruction, not have good equipment, not have someone who knows what they're talking about. How many people have been to a yoga class where the person's posture is so, the teacher's posture is so bad that you're thinking, I can't take yoga from you, or I can't take Pilates from you. So, you know, not everybody is going to be the same. So you've got different things going on fitness-wise, food-wise. You can like burgers. I mean, I love burgers, but were there 3 places I like burgers in town? No, one of them closed.
Grass-fed.
2. There are 2 places I like burgers in town. So, but how many burger places are there? Well, hundreds. What?
You're also the pickiest eater ever.
But see, let me jump in on that because I beg to differ because it's not. Why is that called being picky when you're specific about only eating like animals that are raised on their natural diets, avoiding grain-fed meats, or eating things like really she's not picky. She just avoids foods that are inherently inflammatory to the body. You know, like mostly dairy, grains, and legumes, mostly grass-fed dairy.
Right. Yeah. Darren's pickier than I am.
Nutrition's my obsession. So.
What else have I not talked about that you wanted me to talk
What's
about?
the burger joint that you want?
Bocce burger.
Oh, yeah.
We like bocce burger. And then I went to the new Gordon Ramsay at Planet Hollywood. Sandra went with me for my birthday. And it isn't grass-fed. I wish it was. But it was, I have to say, it was really good. It was really, 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 really good.
It was.
Really, really good.
And I don't really like burgers, so I guess I have to say.
And you ate your whole burger.
I did.
Smash Burger makes a great 3B vegetarian one.
Yeah, they make a good veggie burger.
Yeah, it's awesome, yeah.
Nice, nice. Beef-wise, I don't like them.
I didn't try that. I
Yeah.
don't like veggie.
I call them gas burgers.
How much do you cost?
Well, your first one's free. Then if you want to continue, I do a consultation where we go over your entire health history to find out how you got to be the current you and where you want to go from there. And I do posture pictures and another adjustment, and that's 80. And then after that, it's 25 each time you come in, or 10 visits for 200. And you just show up when I'm open. The hours are listed on my website.
Which
That
is
gives me
nothing.
insane.
That is
Nothing.
insane.
That's
It's less
insane.
than a Coke.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Why do you have your prices so low, Dr. Shelley?
Because I'm on a mission.
Wow, yeah.
I like promoting people that I like, and she's awesome.
I love you.
Thanks.
Jen's awesome too, by the way. So I hope you're all going to her for your hair.
It's funny because everybody gets that way though. Like,
You
it goes,
become
yeah, I
a
mean,
cheerleader.
it is. It's
Yeah,
funny.
I know.
It's just natural to talk about things you like. So.
Well,
And where are you located?
up the street.
Down the street, like 5 minutes away from here.
Eastern and Patrick. I share space with midwives. So there are 3 midwives in there. There's a little baby boutique that's open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and me. So sometimes we're all there, sometimes I'm the only one there. Come in the side door where my name is on the window, because if I'm there by myself, I don't unlock the front door because I can't see what's going on up there. Just come in. The hours are on my website. You just show up.
You mentioned that you're in line with the shoulder technique. Is there others that you recommend to help with the posture?
Well, as I adjust you, you'll get there. There are techniques, there's chiropractic biophysics, that is a technique that focuses on restoring your curves. You're supposed to have a nice curve here, that goes forward, right? Stick your booty out, have a nice curve there. Then your spine naturally curves this way, right? So this curve here is to make room for all your big organs, right? This is where all the big ones are. The heart and the liver and all that stuff. Then your intestines. And then you have a nice, this model isn't great, but you have a nice curve here for your neck. So I have something that I use called a Denner roll, and it's a hard piece of foam specially made to put your neck over to restore your curve. If you want to do that,